Hello and welcome to iSITE program number 9. We're well past halfway through the evangelistic series here in Phoenix, Arizona, Pathway to Life, and it's been a great event so far. Souls are being won for eternity. We've been seeing for the altar calls, people coming forward, rededicating, or even maybe a first time accepting Jesus Christ as their Savior. Now we are here, Jill and I are in a place at the hotel where we're staying at called the Conference Room, the Edit Suite, Control Room Central, and as you can see, look at all these computers. Not every one of them has someone at them right now, but I guarantee you sometimes this room is totally full with staff.
It's packed. They're all working and editing.
That's right. Yeah, this is an amazing room to be a part of. And Jill and I have with us Jorge Hake, who we work together in production. Jorge, and what a blessing you are. And you are the producer of this Pathway to Life series at the Paradise Valley Seventh-day Adventist Church. Kind of give us your flavor of what's going on.
That's right, and actually it's been a blessing and a privilege to be working with you, both of you, but also with this great team that we have here, as you showed all the equipment. But it's not so much about equipment, it's the humans element. Is just an amazing group of people dedicated, working day and night.
That's true.
In providing this information, if you will, and also the programs at night has been such a blessing.
And it's been a privilege to work with the church too, hasn't it, Jorge? They have such a great spirit, and it's been a blessing.
It was an instant bonding, really. Actually,
agree.
I don't know, I don't have words to describe it, but because it's true, really, they have been such a nice, welcoming group of people, and that has made the producing aspect of this whole thing very, very easy. Yeah.
And we're wanting to do something a little unique today here in a few minutes. Tell us a little about that.
We do. We're going to talk behind the scenes to each one of the crew. I think we're going to get to talk to your wife too.
Amen.
But each one of the crew behind the scenes, because they run camera or they're in the truck, they're pushing buttons, and you at home don't get to meet them and don't get to see them. So that's really special. But first, we want to give a shout out to those of you who have been sharing or commenting on Facebook, because we are streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube and, of course, 3BN.TV. You can watch it on 3BNPhoenix.com, or, of course, the old-fashioned way on television. That's not really old-fashioned.
Did you say the old-fashioned way?
That's not really old-fashioned. It still works, doesn't it, Jorge? So here's some people who have commented. This is Jamar and Kathy and Chris, Claudio, Norman, Maranatha Garden, Marielle, Antwi, Gisela, Elena, Oscar, Rudy, Carolyn, Ode, Renee, Garneth, Lorena, Clayton, Amy, Melanie, Chunsa, Mooks, Kim, Billy, Joey, David, Ackley, and the list goes on and on. So thank you so much
did
for
well.
that.
Reading all those names.
I don't know if I pronounced them all right. But Jorge's a blessing as your assistant production manager.
Oh my, yeah, I'm so blessed, Jorge. Thank you so much for what you bring to the team. And you've just, man, what a blessing. You've worked for 3ABN now for a number of years. You came back, was it 1980s or the 1990s?
1990, the first time when 3ABN was still like in the early stages. But then, after a number of years, I came back, and that was such a revelation. Had a totally different game in the industry, and also 3BN has grown so much.
True.
Blessed by our wonderful God, and being able then to reach the world, and now through the social media, as you said, television is still there, but so many avenues and outlets, and so many that diversity and the ways that we can bring the message to the people is just amazing.
Amen.
Thank you, Jorge. I just want to say thank you to you and your family. You last year moved into the production role to help me, and what a blessing you are. As we mentioned, we're going to go to this role. Hope you enjoy as we are actually talking to the crew members at the Paradise Valley Seventh-day Adventist Church. Let's go to that role right now.
Now we're standing here in the Paradise Valley Seventh-day Adventist Church, getting ready for the meeting to go on, and I'm with Jorge's other half. I could say better half. This is Lynette Hake, and Lynette, you're such a blessing to the ministry of 3ABN. How long have you and your husband been at 3ABN?
Well, we've been blessed with being here for 10 years now. We have been here through thick and thin and through our children growing up.
And tell me about, I know on a previous iSITE we got to see Sebastian and Noelia, but how old are they?
Sebastian will be 10 this month, as a matter of fact, and Noelia will be 13 in April.
It's hard to believe.
It Yes, Sebastian was just a baby when we came here. We first came to 3ABN, he was 1 month old.
It's hard to believe. And Greg talked to Seth a little earlier, and Seth is your son as well.
Yes, he is. I've got all my kids working at 3ABN, both as volunteers and as employees. Our oldest son, Mark, is home editing as fast as he can for 3ABN.
It's a blessing. One thing about 3BN is we're a family atmosphere, and many families come together and work here together as well. So Lynette, we're here at, we call it the 3ABN booth here. So tell me what you're doing here.
Well, here at the booth we have all sorts of free materials, Jill, as you can see over there, and we also have paid materials to be sold after Sabbath and during the week, and we've been able to meet a wide variety of people from Arizona, wonderful, wonderful people, all of them.
That's wonderful. I know we told you on a previous iSITE how people come in to get glasses, or they come in for a cholesterol follow-up or something like that, and some of those people are taking material too. Is that correct?
That is correct. My table has been emptied several times in a very blessed fashion. It's been a wonderful thing to come in and see an empty table and see people walking out with their hands full and looking through the materials. We've even had some people come for glasses or cholesterol check and stay for the meetings, which has been really fantastic.
It's wonderful outreach, and you're doing a great job here. Now, tell me what you're holding, because I know in addition to working the booth, she kind of greets people when they come in too.
Yes, I am an accidental greeter, and what we have here, actually I'm going to come up in front of you there, we have the nightly notes for the pastors' meetings, and also we have available with each one the health notes from Dr. Leila Lewis, who has been with us every night giving us wonderful, wonderful health talks.
And then tell me, I have something here. People who are brand new come and they fill this out, and there's some sort of technical gadget in there too. Tell me about that.
In this simple, unassuming envelope, we have a pencil and we have a barcode keychain. And what they can do is fill out the front of this, and they can put the barcode keychain on their keychain, and they come in every night that they're able to come, and we can find out who's been able to come back to us, which has been wonderful. We've been seeing people come from all over the Arizona area, the Phoenix area rather, coming back again and again. It's been wonderful.
Amen. It's a wonderful way to track people when they come in and to do the follow-up with them as well. And finally, last but not least, every night Pastor Morikone does a decision. He does an appeal. Sometimes that takes place on air. Sometimes it's just after we go off air. You don't always see it. But talk to us about the decision card here.
We have our decision card obviously here, and it asks things like, I would like a visit to discuss my decision, my intention to accept Christ's invitation, which is a wonderful one to see checked, additional information, and whether the topic was clear or not, which has been always checked yes. Pastor Morikone does a blessed and wonderful job on this, and this just goes back in our box too with our handy dandy envelope, and we are able to be in contact with people and keep the blessing going.
Amen. It's incredible. I know Pastor Morikone looks over those decision cards, then they're turned into the church here so that the pastor and the elders can follow up on those leads. Well, thank you so much, Lynette.
You're welcome.
You do a great job here, and we're so blessed that Jorge and his family could come this time. And right now we're going to go into the church, and I think Greg's going to talk to some of the crew.
Thank you, Jill. We have a really hard-working crew here at the Paradise Valley Seventh-day Adventist Church, and we thought we'd start here toward the back. Jill was in the lobby area, and we're in the back where the audio is, and we're just going to go around to some of the camera operators as well. Out into the truck is our plan, and Terrence doesn't look like he's just pretending. He's actually doing some work right now because you can hear the music in the background. We're doing a sound check in preparation for tonight's meeting here with Pastor John. We have Terrence Marshall. I'm going to ask Terrence here, hopefully I don't distract him too much. But Terrence, how long have you been here at 3ABN?
I've been at 3BN for 4 years full-time, 2.5 part-time.
Wow, that sounds like quite a few years. It doesn't look very old either. So, but we appreciate Terrence and all of his hard work and all of his skill. Now, Terrence, tell me a little bit about what you do at 3ABN, because I know you do multiple tasks, but what are you doing right here for this event?
For this event, I'm doing house audio. Normally, I will do mic wrangling, staging, stage manager, audio in the truck, anything and everything.
And you're going to find this out about most everyone here on this crew. They're multi-talented and wear multiple hats. So when he means by house audio, he's got this board here, and he's bringing up the audio in the house for what the house audience hears. And he mentioned truck audio. We're going to introduce you to that person here shortly. And we have Michael Yunkin on the other side of the board. Now, Michael Yunkin also wears multiple hats. I'm going to ask him how many years he's been at 3ABN.
Let's see, that's almost 12 years now.
That's a long time, and we appreciate Michael. You started out running camera, is that right?
I started out as a camera operator. Yeah.
Do you remember what event?
My very first one was an ASI.
A number of years ago, and we appreciate Michael. You're basically, on this trip, your responsibility, I'm going to say, is an engineer. He does a lot of work behind the scenes. He does audio. What other things do you do, Michael?
A little bit of lighting, rigging, LED walls are a new thing that I'm involved in, and lots of other little things.
Yeah, he also hangs out in the truck when we have some issues and stuff. So we mentioned the rigging, that's the truss that's up above us, and then we have the LEDs, which are the panels behind Pastor John on the stage, which is really cool technology. And you also do a little driving, Michael.
Yeah, I drive one of the semis with all of our equipment in it, so anywhere we go.
I'm going to say this too. You hear his voice. If you talk to him on a normal basis, that's not how he normally sounds. He's caught a little cold, but he takes 0 time off. So we've been, reach over here, not advertising anybody's water, but we're trying to drink lots of water for him so he can get over his cold and others so we stay well. But anyway, let's go over. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Terrence, for your service for the Lord. Appreciate it very much. Going over to the camera operators over here, and they wear multiple hats as well. This is Seth Davis. Seth, how long have you been with 3ABN?
I've been with production full-time since November of 2013.
You know, that's a good point, because you started out in some other areas at 3ABN, but then you joined the production team, and we really appreciate Seth. Seth, what do you do here and at 3ABN?
Here, I'm lighting, camera. I've been assigned one of the churches to edit and get up on stream. As far as at 3ABN, I'm lighting director.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, a lot of responsibilities that he has. Now, let me ask you this, Seth. What is one of your favorite cameras to run?
My camera to run is audience. Hands down, that's the only camera that I want to run if I'm on camera.
So tell me why you like to run audience camera.
Lets me walk. I'm not stationary for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I get to move around. I get to see people picking their noses and messing with their hair. So, you know, if you're out there in the audience, I'm watching you.
And so just so you know that we don't take those shots, but he gets to see a lot of interesting things, that's for sure. But Seth, we appreciate you and your service for the Lord and coming on these trips, because none of these crew that we have here complain. And there's some long hours that are put in, and so Seth, thank you so much. The lighting that we have here, there's some creative lighting up on the above the LEDs that are the orange lights, and there's some light behind the piano. And so Seth, let me ask you this. These lights are really, really high, and I've seen you at like an ASI event climb something to get all the way up there. How high is our ladder?
Oh, I don't know how high our ladder is, but I know I've gone upwards of 30 feet in the air to get to truss.
I'm thankful it's him and not me. Thank you, Seth. We have next to Seth, we have Dalton Swan. Now, Dalton, how many years have you been at 3ABN?
Just about 2 years now.
Okay. And full-time, when did you join?
Just about 6 months ago.
Yep.
That's about right.
Yep. And we appreciate Dalton and all his skills, too. And I forgot to mention, too, Seth does a lot of what we call E&G work, which is like our remote cameras as well. So what are some of the things that you do at 3ABN?
I run camera. I help Seth a little bit with lighting. I'm the engineer of the GH5s, apparently. I just kind of got thrown into that.
So what is the GH5?
GH5 is one of our remote cameras, and they're pretty good. They do a good job when we do stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And I know that you enjoy going out and getting like B-roll footage and stuff like that. Yeah, very good. We appreciate you, Dalton, and for your time here at 3ABN. It's great to have this whole crew because we're really a family. And so we appreciate you, Dalton, and all that you bring to 3ABN. We move over here, and we have someone that's not a stranger to those that watch 3ABN. This is, good job, Larry McLucas. I heard someone say it. Oh. Larry, how many years have you been working for 3ABN?
17 years, 3 months.
He has it down to the month. I'm surprised you didn't mention the days, Larry.
Well, I haven't quite counted them up yet, but it's getting close.
He's a full-time volunteer, and I appreciate Larry. Larry and I actually, before we were in production, I was in production years ago, then I went to the call center, whereas in the print shop, and we worked together there.
That's right, yeah.
And what are your responsibilities here, Larry?
Well, here at this event, I run camera, assist a little bit with floor directing, set up cameras. I'll be tearing them down when we're done, and whatever else is needed, drive the truck back and forth.
You know, Larry, you've been around 3ABN for many years, but it definitely is a family, isn't it? You know, in production, especially on the road crew, it's important to actually work together, isn't it?
It's very important. You got to make sure everybody's got each other's back.
Yep. And, you know, and I can almost say one word, and Larry will jump out with a song. multi-talented. Larry, we appreciate you and your years of volunteering and service for the ministry of 3ABN. And I believe, Larry, only in eternity will we know the full impact of you and all the others that we have met and are going to meet.
That's been a fantastic ride. That's a win-win situation, and I think I'm getting the better end of the deal.
Amen. And I also wanted to mention this too. They're just right over to my right, but we have the church AV team. We have Julie and we have Milton. And I know there are others, but we appreciate them and their help as well. What I'm going to do right now is actually head toward the front of the church. We'll meet a few more people. But Jill well, I'm not going to say who she's with, but she's with a couple of other special crew members here. We're going to go to that right now.
Thank you so much, Greg. Now, I'm here in the elders' room, is what the church normally uses it for, but 3ABN's kind of taken it over with equipment and stuff. This is our makeshift green room. We come in before the meetings and have a group prayer with everyone who's going on the platform. And Summer here, you're doing makeup right now on Pastor Hakes. I know he's getting ready to go on the platform. So tell me how long you've been at 3ABN, Summer.
Close to 10 years.
Wow. Now, she must have started when she was 2 or 5. So 10 years, that's amazing. So tell me, what do you do at 3ABN?
I work in production and in the office.
Now, I have to say, in the office, she does a great job. She does a good deal with the interviews and the people who come in and assists me as well. And you're such a blessing, Summer. She pays attention to detail and has just a great heart for God and for people. What do you do in production?
Makeup and run camera.
What type of cameras?
The jib and camera 2.
Now, the jib has the great big long arm, and it gets really nice shots here at the series.
Yeah, we have a great jib shot this time. It's so fun.
That's wonderful. Now, what is camera 2? At home, you might be saying, I don't know what camera 2 is. What's camera 2?
It's the close-up camera, and so you really have to pay attention and just like be on it. And Janae can tell you more about that.
We will do that. Thank you so much, Summer. You're such a blessing to 3ABN and the ministry here. And she's almost Greg and our neighbor back at home in Illinois. And on this side of Pastor Hakes is Danae Babb. And Danae, how long have you been at 3ABN?
Well, I've been working for about 3 years, but I've moved to the area about when I was 7. And my whole family works there. And
That's right. The Babbs are such a blessing to the ministry of 3ABN and have been there since you really grew up at 3ABN, going to our church school, right?
Yes.
And then you went away to Academy?
Yes, in Missouri. It was interesting.
And then she did some college and then started working at 3ABN. So what is your role at 3ABN here? What do you do?
I'm also in production, so I run camera 2, and I do makeup. And I work some in the office.
That's right. And she does an incredible job. So tell me, why do you like camera 2? I know Summer just told us it's kind of the close-up shot, but why do you like camera 2?
Because it is active all the time. I never have to worry about what shot I'm getting. I always know what I'm supposed to get, and I don't have to worry about like falling asleep.
It'd probably be the hardest camera, one of the hardest cameras to run, because the speaker moves so much. So thank you so much, ladies. We'll let you get back to work, and we'll go now, and I think Greg's going to catch up with some more people on the way into the truck.
Thank you, Jill. Wait, Ben. I'm on my way out of the side church exit to the truck, and saw Ben Lingle here. Ben, you look like you're in a hurry, heading somewhere. We're getting ready to start the program this evening here with Pastor Morikone. But tell me, how many years you've been here at 3ABN, Ben?
Well, I've been at 3ABN. I've lived in the area all my life, but I've been working at 3ABN for like 2 or 3 years now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me your responsibilities at 3ABN, but also here for this event. So let's start here. What are you doing here?
So here I'm doing what they call mic wrangling, which is basically I take the mics, get the people ready, and make sure that when it's time to send them out, that they're out on time and they do what they need to do to get the program going.
And what that's also called is stage managing. So we're stage managing and mic wrangling. So that's pretty important because you got to send people on. You're coordinating with the director, who's inside of the truck. So what do you do at 3ABN?
So my main responsibility at 3ABN is to run audio, but occasionally I'll do some camera work as well. But primarily it's running audio.
You know, Ben, and I appreciate also your creativity because he's a great photographer as well, and he does some ENG work, and which is like the remote cameras and things. Ben, we appreciate you being here with us. I know you're getting ready to head in to get Pastor Morikone and the crew on the stage,
right.
But thank you again. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Greg.
All right. So I'm going to head into the truck, and we'll meet the crew inside of the truck. Let's go. All right, so I'm walking in the back of the truck. This is our production truck, and this is the video area, a little bit cramped quarters. I actually used to work back here when I was in production, traveling on the road. But I'm back here with Tyler Walker, and Tyler, again, is one of our key members of our production team. Tyler, how long have you been with 3ABN full-time?
Just under 3 years.
Wow, now that's quite a while, but you're not, this is not new to you, production, is it?
No, I've sort of grown up around 3ABN my entire life, so I've been around production for maybe 10 years or so.
Almost your whole life, probably, Tyler.
My entire life, yeah.
For those of you that have watched, like, was it Kids Time or Tiny Tots that you used to sing, like, years and years and years ago?
Yeah, I was on Tiny Tots, but I also sang on Kids Time. Yeah.
So if you see Tyler Walker, this is Tyler now, who works for us and is part of our team. What are you doing here for this event, Tyler? What is this area?
Yeah, back here I shade the cameras so that all the cameras match, the iris or the brightness of the angles match. I take notes as the director calls out if he takes the wrong shot or if something needs to change in the program. I'll mark the time code and the editors will change that in post. I press the record button, so that's a little bit important.
I was going to say, that's really important. Otherwise we wouldn't have it recorded.
Yeah.
So back at 3ABN, what do you do there? Because I know basically you found out a lot of people wear multiple hats here. What do you do back home?
Right, yeah, at home I primarily direct out of Studio A, the Today program, Today Lives, Always, things like that.
And you also did video before Robert Stotts moved on to another ministry, but you ran video, which is this, but in the control room back home. Thank you so much, Tyler. We appreciate what you do here and back home, 3ABN. I tell you, this is a great team member we have here along with everybody else. Let's go down toward audio and toward the front of the truck. All right, let's do it. So I'm moving toward the middle of the production truck, and this is the broadcast audio. I'm going to get down on one knee here next to Randy Bermejo. This is a little cramped quarters in here, too, so I'll get down here. We're actually in the pre-show before Pastor Morikone goes on the stage. But I just said what you do here, but tell me how you enjoy running broadcast audio.
Oh, it's a great privilege to be working with 3ABN and doing broadcast audio for this show and others that we have done.
Now, what does that mean, broadcast audio, for people at home?
We run two types of mixes. The mix that goes on television, it comes from this board, and the mixes that come to the house, to the church, come from another board, which is in-house. And those are the two different, completely separate. Everyone does their own.
We appreciate what you do, Randy. And I want to ask you this. How long have you been a part of 3ABN? Because I know you come and help us in many of these events.
This is my 8th year with 3ABN.
And right now, this is not staged. He's actually just doing a little mix here of a little quartet that's on the stage. But we appreciate you, Randy, and for you and your family's part of this ministry and what you have. I'm almost at a loss for words. The impact that you are making for eternity for others. It's a blessing to be part of the team, isn't it?
It's a real blessing. It's a real privilege to be with the team in 3ABN and put our little grain of salt in evangelism.
Amen. We appreciate your team, how you're just such a great team member and part of this team, Randy. And I tell you, you're a blessing. I appreciate his spirit. He has just a great spirit, loves the Lord. Let's move toward the front of the truck where the director and the graphics person is. Let's do that now. So coming toward the front of the truck, this is where the producer would sit, would be right here. And I am with the VG person or the graphics person, and then of course the director who we'll talk to in just a moment. But this is Will Worf. And Will, how many years have you been here at 3ABN?
This is my 18th year.
So Will and I started out about together, and we've spent many an hour inside of this truck, haven't we, Will?
Second home, yeah.
I like how he said that, second home. That's a good description. Now, Will, what are you doing for this event?
Right now, I put up the graphics, pictures, words, whatever that Pastor Morikone needs for the program, and then the director will either put it on air or not at his discretion.
And you also take care of the clock, which is very important.
Yeah. As soon as they get done with this song, I got to put the clock up for the doctors. That's talking.
Yeah, this is not staged. We're actually in the pre-program here at Paradise Valley Seventh-day Adventist Church. So I think he's getting ready to punch the clock. He just is punching in the time, and that's very important because that's the clock that people see from the stage, and that's important because they need to know how long their segment is, and things like that. But we appreciate you, Will, and your wife, April, and for all of the years that you've spent being part of the production team. You started out in production, and that's where you stayed. I was in production, left for a little bit, and then came back. But it's been a blessing, hasn't it, being part of 3ABN?
Yeah, we have fun. We've seen a lot of roads.
I was just going to mention that. This man here does something else. You grab a hold of a steering wheel.
I drive the truck, yeah. So wherever the truck goes, I'm the one in the steering wheel.
That's right. And many a gallon of fuel you've pumped into these trucks.
Yeah, sometimes we pumped it out, too. When we go to a convention center, we had to take all the fuel out to go in the building.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But we appreciate Will and his years of work here for the ministry, and it's a blessing working with you, Will, and for your team, boy, your team leadership. We appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm heading over here to a roadie, and I don't want to interrupt him. May have to be kind of quiet because he's actually directing, which I'm going to ask a roadie what directing is. What is directing?
Well, with directing, we coach the cameras to what we need shot-wise, and then pick the right moment to put the camera or the graphic or whatever happens to be needed during the show. So this is the last section. This is where the show actually comes together at the very end, after all of the stations.
So let me ask you this then, Arodi. So what the buttons that you're pushing here is actually what people will see over the air?
Yes. So one, we will control several things. We got what people see over the air, what people see in the church, and specialty stuff. It's all controlled over this board right here.
So we were just talking to Will, and so he actually gives you like a name super with a person's name, but you're actually the one that says, yes, I want to pick it.
Yes, I will, adjust my camera so that the graphic aligns to what it's saying. He gets it ready, we choose it, and then it comes up on air. And I decide when to take it off.
So this looks really complicated. To me, this almost looks like he's getting ready to fly an airplane. Look at all these colored buttons. Is it overwhelming ever?
Well, at the beginning when you see it the first time it is, but then you figure out that no, it's not quite that bad. Unless you get over to that side, that gets very complicated.
So let me ask you, Rody, how many years have you been a part of 3ABN?
I have been working with 3ABN for over 7 years. I started off in Latino on the road, and I've mostly done on the road work. Yes.
We appreciate you, Rody. You always have just a happy attitude, and I appreciate the team. We've been going along, meeting all the team members, and it's very important to have a team that works together and is in harmony, and really because the hours are kind of crazy sometimes, but I appreciate you, Rody, and what you bring to this team.
Yeah, definitely. The team is what makes this work worth it and what makes it work. Like, me being here with all the buttons means nothing if my team doesn't support and does their job correctly. So I have an easy job because I got a great team.
Right, and as Arodi was saying, it takes a team to make this work. But without God's blessing, none of this it will be a reality. So we praise the Lord for His help and for what we are able to do here.
It's a great team, isn't it? It's fun, Jorge, isn't it, working in production?
It's fun. It's fun working with you, Greg.
Hey, same
here. I have
here.
to say it on the air. And with you, Jill, of course. But it's been a blessing.
Amen.
It is. It's a privilege to work for the Lord Jesus Christ, and we consider you at home part of the 3ABN family. Right. So it's fun to work together with you. That's all the time we have for tonight, but we will see you again tomorrow night. And stay tuned to watch the program coming now from Pastor John Morikone.